All right, it's 1:05, so we're going to get started. Like I said, first I'll share some stuff with you. I'll talk about progress in the layout, upcoming videos. I'll do some Q&A, and we'll also do some giveaways, and we'll run some trains. I'm probably going to save most of the giveaways for the end of the show. That's the teaser to keep you watching. I'm going to give away some shirts and also some train items as well. And as I said, some of those will be given away to everybody who's public, and some will just be given away to Patreon supporters. It's kind of my way of trying to drive people to support the channel on Patreon, because that helps the channel prosper and helps me do more and different videos. And I'll talk about that when I talk about upcoming videos. Now, before I see everyone chatting in there, and you can ask questions when I start taking questions. I've said this before, but don't ask me to run anything, because I've already decided what I'm going to run today, and there's so many requests for stuff to run. If I took every request for stuff to run, I'd be sitting here for 12 hours. Anyway, so I hope everybody's doing okay during the lockdown here. Here in Georgia, they just enacted a shelter-in-place law on Friday, which doesn't really mean anything, because you can still go out to the grocery store and all that stuff. I guess it just means you can't go to a party. Anyway, I hope everyone's staying okay and sanitizing their hands and whatnot all. I showed this in the video the other day, but I've got these CD crunchy bars that my girlfriend makes, and I've helped make some of them too, and they're really good. This is a recipe. This is a batch she did with apricots and M&Ms, but it's really good. And then she did another batch with apple and cinnamon and ginger. So she's here helping me today, being my assistant. She's over in the corner. She doesn't want to be on camera, which is probably smart. So we're eating CD Crunchy bars and drinking Clearly Canadian and other beverages and everything. So first I wanted to share a couple things with you, just random things that I thought might be interesting. Let's see here. So I'm shooting a video right now on fixing up some old trains, and if you're ever fixing up old trains, old Lionel trains, or I guess any old trains, these Greenberg guides for Lionel trains are really handy. Now this one's really beat up. I've had this one since I was about 13 years old. It's still good on the inside, but the outside is beaten up. I did get a newer one maybe 10 years ago, which is a little bit different. It's revised a little bit, but mostly the same. And basically it's just got, you can look up any item you want, like the number 257 freight station, and it gives you a description about how it works, and a lot of times they'll give you breakdowns, part breakdowns, to show how they work and what the parts are and the part numbers. So these are really handy for working on old trains. So for example, right now I'm working on a Type Q transformer, and so if I look in here, I can see Type Q is on page 558. And if I go to 558, there's the wiring diagram right there for the Type A and Q transformers. And that helps me with my troubleshooting and rewiring of the transformer to get it fixed and everything. So that'll all be in the video. We're going to fix the transformer in the video and get it working like new, so that should be fun. Another fun train reference book is this one, Greenberg's Guide to Lionel Trains, the Pocket Price Guide. This one's from 2018. They bring them out every year, and it's basically got, you know, estimated prices for any trains that you might want to buy. Most people use these at train shows when they go around, and you know, so they'll look up, okay, I want to get a post-war 3462 automatic milk car, and they can see here that you know, the flat white or cream brass base mechanism is $25 good and $65 excellent. If you've got the glossy cream color, it's $64 good and $238 in excellent condition, probably because it's very rare. So they just have all the items in here, and they do have modern ones. It goes all the way up to 2018, which is kind of cool. I'm sure the Vision line engines are in here. Lionel Corporate tin plate is in here. Pretty cool, and it's pretty comprehensive. Yeah, it is getting thick. Most of it is modern trains. You know, the post-war and pre-war are only, you know, I think that's the end of it right there, yeah. I mean, only that section right here is the pre-war and post-war. All this stuff is modern era from 1970 onward, which makes sense. So it's a pretty cool little handy price guide, you know, if you're trying to find out what something's worth, or if you're at a train show and you want to buy something and you want to find out if the price is good. This is a good thing to have. Hello from Kansas City. I also wanted to talk about magazines. You know, I'm sure a lot of you guys know this, but I read two magazines in the hobby. There's O-Gauge Railroading and there's Classic Toy Trains. I'm sure neither one of them likes me talking about the other, but that's tough. They're both good magazines, and I read them both. They're great. I'm currently writing for OGR magazine, just in case you didn't know. So this is the newest issue, and so I've got 2 reviews per issue. So this one has, where is it? There it is. This one has the Lionel Southern Pacific 442 Atlantic A6. There it is. And there's my name. So there's that, and then I also, in this issue, I also reviewed the, where is it? The Atlas O-scale motorized oil pumps. Right there. Now, of course, a lot of the things I review in the magazine, I review in video too. But you might enjoy going to the magazine and reading the reviews, because in the magazine reviews, I tend to talk about more personal stuff, why I personally like that particular item and what it means to me and the history and so forth. In the videos, I tend to cut that stuff out. In fact, the videos are ever in a state of being trimmed down as much as possible, because people just don't have the attention span to watch a 30-minute video. And so I try to keep the review videos to under 20 minutes if possible, because I've slowly cut out a lot, tried to cut it down and cut out a lot of the talking and this and that, because people just the statistics on YouTube show that people just don't have the patience to watch an entire video, which is kind of sad. But if you want more information on the stuff I review, you can find it in OGR magazine, and they've got lots of other great stuff in here too. I particularly like the the collector's gallery, where he talks about collectible stuff or possible collectible stuff. Sometimes it's classic stuff, sometimes it's new stuff, like the MTH. This is not the Z4000. What is this? Looks like the Z4000, but it's not. But it's, an MTH transformer of some sort. Might be. I don't think it's the Z4000. It looks different from the Z4000. I don't know what it is. The Z2000. So, possible collectible. So it's nice to read those things. And of course, you can always see the advertisement for the Eric's Trains building from Legacy Station. Those are still in stock. They still have a few of them in stock if you want one. The other magazine, of course, is Classic Toy Trains, which I don't write for anymore, but it's still an excellent magazine, and I read it too. Probably my favorite section in the magazine is Lou Palumbo's section, Views from the Underground. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Views from the Underground, 24. Yeah, there it is. So Lou Palumbo does this section called Views from the Underground. And that's usually the first thing I read when I get my Classic Toy Trains. And then I'll read, you know, Focus on Classics and stuff like that. And I'll read the layout reviews and stuff like that in both magazines. So they're both fantastic magazines, O-Gauge, Railroading, and Classic Toy Trains. And if you haven't subscribed to them, do yourself a favor and do that. Especially, it makes even more sense now with everybody locked in and nothing better to do. It's a great time to get some reading done. You know, people often ask me, where do you get the ideas for your layout? And the answer is magazines and DVDs and videos. That you just cherry pick. I mean, that's the best thing about these magazines is they give you ideas. When you're building, especially when you're building a layout, you read all the articles, even read some HO magazines, and you'll just cherry pick the best ideas or the ideas that you think are the best and put them on your layout. And that's how you learn, and that's how you build a nice layout, is by learning from materials like this. So do yourself a favor and subscribe to those. So that's the stuff I wanted to show you there. I wanted to talk about some work I'm doing on the layout. So I'm working. This is the area of the town that I'm working in. Right there. Wiring up lights and so forth. And then the asphalt area. The asphalt work that I'm doing is in the yard workshop area right there. And then the power station is right here where I'm working on that. I got to pave the parking lot and put a siding in so the cars can go underneath and so forth. So there's a lot of work going on there. And then there's another another big job that needs to be done here on this part of the layout. In this mountain there are 2 switches, and I was running a train through there a while back, and it derailed and it broke off one of the rails on the switch. And I was able to temporarily fix it, I suppose, with some CA glue. So it is working now, but I would like to replace that switch and also fix a few problems that are in the mountain that have been bugging me for years. Unfortunately, working on the interior of this mountain in particular is a royal pain in the butt. There is no easy way in there. I do have one access hole right here that allows me to get my hands in there and get derailed trains. But doing big work like I need to do is going to be a colossal nightmare. So, there's several things I'm thinking of. There's, I might make it so I can pop this bridge out and maybe cut out a section that can lift out so I can work on the track. Basically have a large section of this mountain be removable. That is probably at least part of the way that I'm going to have to do it. The other way that I might do it, well, I'm not sure if the microphone is transferring to the other camera, but what I was showing you in the other rooms was in the back of the Carolina room. I might cut out part of the wall to get access to that tunnel. Hopefully you were able to hear the stuff I was saying up here. I don't know why the audio is not transferring to the other camera. Yeah, I don't think the microphone. But anyway, I don't think the microphone switched over. But what I was showing you was just a project I was doing in the mountain where the 2 switches are. Hopefully you heard most of that. I'll do a video on layout update at some point, and I'll explain it in the layout update if you didn't hear me. I was talking about the asphalt, and someone asked about the asphalt video, and I am in the process of making that video. Right now, it's probably about 60% done. It's almost there. I've made a lot of headway on it the last couple weeks, and so that's doing it. I'm also simultaneously filming the video on how to fix up some old trains. So there's a lot of videos coming in the future. So that's what we'll get into now, videos that are coming in the future. Obviously, the asphalt video is coming soon, and the repair of some of the old trains is coming. The first video in the old train repair series is coming soon, I should say. And there's also a layout update video coming at some point. And there's also some product reviews. It's like I said last time, it's always a tricky situation with the tutorial videos and the how-to videos, because they take a long time to make and they eat up a lot of time. And unfortunately, the response is never as good as product reviews. People just don't watch how-to videos as much as they do product reviews, and I don't know why that is. Personally, for me, I'd rather watch a how-to video and a review of an old train of something, a review and repair of an old train or something like that. But the stats show that anytime I upload a video that has is not product review related or about running trains, they don't do as well. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like it takes forever to make them, it takes a lot of time, and in the end, you end up losing views on it. So that's why I don't do tutorial videos all the time, but they are fun to make. The reviews that I've got coming in the near future, those are going to be I'm reviewing the Lionel Canadian Pacific ABBA F3 set. I think it's F3s, and then the passenger cars that go with them. That's going to be really cool. And then I'm also going to review the bipolar, the new Lionel bipolar, and the state set. The bipolar pre-war inspired state set is what I'm going to be reviewing. Those take a while to do too, because it's an entire set and it's got a lot of history to it. So those take a while to film as well. And then I'm also going to be reviewing the new MTH coal turbine at some point. And then eventually, a lot of you guys have been asking me to do a video on the new Vision Line Challengers. I haven't been in a big hurry because the new Vision Line Challengers are no different than the old Challengers. They're just new. But what I do want to do is do a video where I run all three of my Challengers together. But as I've explained before, I can't do that right now because the soundboard in my original Challenger, I accidentally fried it, and I have to get a new one, and those aren't cheap. And and plus Lionel, I think their parts department is closed right now, so I can't get it now anyway. But as soon as I do get that part, I will do a video where I run all three Challengers together. So that should be fun. I'm excited about the state set too. That's what somebody just said. That's going to be a fun video. Again, it's one of those things where I probably won't get as many views on it because I don't think a majority of people will be interested in the bipolar state set. But I'm interested in it, and so I want to do a video on it because it's really, really cool. So, anyway, yeah, the coal turbine, that's coming soon. So those are the videos that are in the works right now, and that's about it. And then I'm also I've told you guys before, I started another YouTube channel last year that's called that's a survival kit kind of, I review survival kits and bug out bags and get home bags and various camping gear and bushcraft gear and so forth. And that's a secondary channel that I started last year. It's called Kit Bashed Survival. I borrowed the Kit Bash term from Model Railroading, and that channel is going pretty well. It's picking up steam. It's almost got enough subscribers where I can monetize the videos and actually make it worthwhile to do the videos. But it's a cool channel. If you haven't checked it out, it's completely different from this. I'll put a link to it in the video when I edit this video and do the notes below. But if you do a search on YouTube for Kit Bashed Survival, you'll find it there. And I've got about 33, 34 videos there so far. Believe it or not, that channel actually does help this channel in ways that might not be apparent. But my other channel that I've started kind of it helps me reset so that the trains continue to be exciting, because believe it or not, I'm working on so many videos with the train stuff that there is a potential when you're working that hard on stuff to get burned out on it and for it no longer to be fun. And so it's not that way, but I think last year I was starting to think that a little bit, and so I started the other channel to sort of be something else I could do away from the trains, and it's helped a lot. It helps because when I do those videos, and then when I'm done with those, I come back here and I'm ready and excited to work on the trains again. So it's been actually a very beneficial thing for this channel because without it, I would be doing nothing but train videos all the time, and it would probably get a little bit. I might get a little bit burned out after a while. So it was kind of necessary to have something else, another channel to work on, so that I could come back here refreshed, excited, and ready to go on more train stuff. And also, it's also a plan to sort of broaden the footprint, my footprint on YouTube, to draw in some more revenue, and hopefully it's part of the master plan, that the dream to hopefully just do this full time and not have to do a regular job. I'm still pretty far from that, but that is the plan, and that's why I'm sort of expanding out with some other channels to try to make that happen, because that would be really, really cool if I could do that. Anyway, so that's that. I've got some stuff to give away. I think I might give away something, one or two things now, and then what do you think? What now and then later? Yeah. So I might give away one or two things now, and also give away some things at the end as well. So let me get the stuff I'm going to give away right now, and we'll do that. Okay, so first up, I'm going to give away a couple shirts right now. And I hope Anthony is on there. Yeah, he's on there. Yeah, Anthony's on there. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to have anybody who wants what I'm giving away, just kind of, I'll tell you what to say, and then I'll have Anthony just pick somebody at random, basically. So the first shirt I'm going to give away is a special shirt that I've had made up just for this lockdown, and I thought that would be kind of fun. So here it is. Here's the picture of it. Right there. I don't know if you can see that or not. Hopefully you can see that. So it's the Eric's Train shirt. It's kind of a sand color, 2020 lockdown, and a little virus underneath. I think that's pretty neat. So I'm only having 12 of them made. So there's not that many to give away. But I'm going to give away a couple right now. So hang on a second. Let me tell you what I'm going to do is tell you what sizes I have to give away. If you want that size, you can put your name in the hat and be eligible for it. If it's not your size, I'm sorry, I just don't have your size. That's just the way the cookie crumbled. So for the Lockdown 2020 shirt. I've got 3 larges, 6 extra larges, 3 double X, and okay, so I've got 12 shirts, 3 larges, 6 extra larges, and 3 double X's. I'm keeping 1 double X for myself. So what I'll do now is, if you want either a large, extra large, or double X of the Lockdown 2020 shirt, in the chat, type the word lockdown. I'm going to randomly pick somebody. And it is Gavin Gaming. Who is Gavin Gaming? You just won a t-shirt. All right, so I need to get your address, Gavin. So, Gavin, if you will send me an email to eric@ericstrains.com. I will, and just send me your name and address, and I'll ship one out to you as soon as they come in. I didn't mention that the lockdown shirts won't be here till Wednesday, so they're not here yet. But as soon as it gets in, I'll ship it to you. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to give away, one more thing before we run some trains. Well, I'll give away a couple more things, but okay, let me. Yeah. So the next thing I'm going to give away is I'm going to give away one of these shirts. This is the blue shirt with nothing on the back. I've only got a few of these left. I've got 2 sizes. There's I think there's large and 2XL, if I remember correctly. There's large and 2XL of these blue shirts. So that's what it looks like. I'm going to give one of these away. So I think we'll do something different for this rather than having people scream out on the chat. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to ask a trivia question. Okay. The first person to email me with the correct answer wins the prize. Now, you have to be okay with either a large or a 2XL shirt. If you don't wear large or 2XL, don't send me an email. So let me find some trivia questions I can ask. All right, this is a pretty easy one. But the first person to email me, and you email me at eric@ericstrains.com. In the subject, just put t-shirt in the subject. And the trivia question is as follows. So, here's the trivia question. And again, you're gonna email me at eric@ericstrains.com, and if you first person to get the trivia question will get it. So, okay, this is an easy one. The golden spike for the Transcontinental Railroad was driven in on May 10th, 1869 at Promontory Summit, Utah. It was the meeting of the Union Pacific and the Central Pacific Railroad. Who was the person who drove in the final spike? What was his name? First person to email me gets either a large or a 2XL blue t-shirt. So eric@ericstrains.com. What is the name of the person who drove in the final spike at Promontory Summit? And this is just a race to email. And again, the lavish prize is your very own. Now, I'm sure the spike was probably actually driven in by some slave labor worker or something like that, but the person there's a person credited with it. And okay, so we got the correct answer in, so you can stop emailing before I get thousands of them. Okay, so the first person to get the correct answer, the answer is Leland Stanford, and the correct person was Hunter Molaski. So congrats to Hunter Molaski on winning a shirt. And hopefully he wears a size large or 2XL. And if you don't, then you can just gain some weight and then it'll fit you. All right. Now, I'm not going to give this stuff away yet, but I do want to put it out there. Okay. I'm going to be giving away some stuff to Patreon supporters. So, the first thing I'm going to give away to a lucky Patreon supporter is a Menards Conrail hopper, a coal hopper. And let me take it out of the box. So this is a Menards Conrail coal hopper with a coal load in there. And this will go to a lucky Patreon supporter. Now, there are two conditions. Number one, you have to be a Patreon supporter. Number two, you do have to pay for shipping because it does cost money to ship stuff. But you can get it, but you won't have to pay for the car. So, if you are a Patreon supporter and you want the Conrail coal hopper, go on Patreon right now and send me a message via Patreon, and I will pick a winner later today after the show. And that is for the coal hopper. There it is right there. And I imagine there's probably only, I imagine not all my Patreon supporters are watching, so you probably have a good chance of winning it if you enter in. Look at that. So there that is. That's going to go to a lucky Patreon supporter. The Conrail coal hopper made by Menards. Brand new. The only time I used it was when I reviewed it a few weeks ago. So if you're a Patreon supporter, just message me and say, I'd like the blue hopper. And I will pick a winner at random later today. And if you're not a Patreon supporter and you want to be one, it's really easy. Just go to patreon.com/ericstrains and sign up. And the prize is going to first-class Patreon supporters. I should have mentioned that. So if you're not a Patreon supporter yet and you would like to be one and you'd like a chance to win one of these, go to patreon.com/ericstrains and then become a first-class Patreon supporter and then message me and say, hey, I'd like the train. The next item is going to be another Menards car. This is also going to go to Patreon supporters, and that is this Kansas City Southern covered hopper. These are really awesome. So let me open this one up. So Kansas City Southern covered hopper. And it has opening hatches too, which is just really cool. So this can be yours too if you're a Patreon supporter. So if you're on Patreon and you would like the KCS covered hopper from Menards, just message me and say I'd like the KCS hopper, and I'll pick a winner later today. And again, if you're not a Patreon supporter yet, you can be one by going to patreon.com/ericstrains and become a first-class supporter. And there it is. And again, the whole Patreon thing is just I'm trying to get more support on Patreon to support this channel, so that I don't have to do other jobs as well. And also it helps to grow the channel because it helps me procure stuff that I might not normally be able to get, and review it and show it on this channel and do videos and stuff like that. For example, there is a really cool video that I'm planning in the future that's about airbrush weathering freight cars. It's about fixing up cheap freight cars to look really nice with airbrush weathering. It's going to be a really fun video, but in order to do it, I have to upgrade the airbrushing situation that I have, and so Patreon stuff goes towards stuff like that, to bring you better videos. I feel like I'm on PBS or something. If you enjoy watching shows like Eric's Trains, call our number now. For just the cost of a cup of coffee a day. All right, so those are the 2 giveaways to Patreon supporters right now. And if you're a Patreon supporter, by the way, if you can only get you can request both. You can put your name in the hat for both cars, but I'm only going to pick you for one. I'm not going to give both cars to one person. Well, I guess theoretically it could happen because I'm going to pick them from random. So I guess theoretically one person could, but I'm probably not going to allow that. I'm just going to, if I pick the same one again, I'll pick someone else because I don't want one person to get everything. All right, so we gave away one of the lockdown T-shirts, one of the blue T-shirts, and 2 of the cars. I think what we're going to do now is run some trains for a little bit, and then we'll come back and we'll give away some more stuff. So it's kind of fun. I'm going to give away a few more T-shirts and a few more cars, and so stay tuned. Watch the trains, and then come back, and I'll come back and we will we'll give away some more stuff. So. Oh, wait a minute. let's do some Q&A first before we run the trains. We'll do some Q&A. I forgot about that section. One of these days, I'm going to have one of these shows planned really well. I'm going to have like a planner in front of me that has everything written down. I'll have a script. Okay, so I'll take a few questions now, and then we'll run some trains. Yeah, Kevin, we're going to do Q&A. So if you have questions, go ahead and ask them. I'll take maybe 5 or 6 questions, and then we'll go and we'll run some trains. Jonas Snyder says, have you considered getting another ON30 steam engine for your narrow gauge loop in the Colorado room? Yeah, I would like to. I've got 3 engines right now for the narrow gauge line. I've got a gas turbine. I got a little gas. I forget what it's called, but it's a little diesel one, and then I've got a larger. I think it's called a Whitcomb switcher that I usually use on a regular basis, and then I've also got a steam engine that I use. I forget what size it is, but yeah, I would like to expand my ON30 line. I have thought about ways to expand it. Unfortunately, the curves on my ON30 line are not the widest, and so I can't. There's a limit to the stuff I can run, but I would like to get some more ON30 stuff. Do you have any future plans to build a new layout? Yeah, actually, my girlfriend has donated her apartment. She says I can build it in there, in her kitchen. I'm just kidding. What's with the weird, brighter paint job on the new 611? If you guys haven't heard about that, Lionel brought out the 611, another model of the 611, and the stripe is the wrong shade of red, I guess you could say. And I don't know what it is. Lionel has the worst luck when they bring out models of the 611. It seems there's always something wrong because, people are so. 611 is one of those engines where people are so, they know it so well and they're so picky about it, and you have to get everything exactly right. And Lionel, they always seem to get something wrong on it. This time they got the stripe is the wrong shade of red, but they have offered a solution Harry Heike is doing repaints for free. So I emailed them a while back. I got an email from Lionel, and I emailed Harry Heike, and I think it's Heike, and they're gonna. I'm gonna send it in May, I think, and they're gonna repaint it. And he's gonna redo the stripe so it's the right shade of red. So yeah, Lionel dropped the ball with the shade of red on the stripe, but they've also made it better by allowing you to send it in to Harry Heike and having him repaint it for free. So, are you getting more Menards vehicles that light up? Yeah, I've actually got 2 more. I've got some trucks, some stake trucks that light up. So I've got a total of 4. I haven't reviewed the other ones yet. I've got them right here. Hang on a second. I'll show them to you. So here's one of them. This is the Pennsylvania, I think it's called a stake truck. And it does have the lights on it. So I'll probably review these at some point in the near future, and then I might give them away after that because these are sort of out of place on my layout. They're kind of old trucks, but so we'll see. But yeah, they're really nice. So I've got 2 of these, and then I've got the 2 Shelby Mustangs that I also reviewed earlier. So Will Smithdeal says, what lubricants do you use on your trains? What's good or not good for non-metals? This is what I use on my trains for metal parts. I use this stuff called Hobby Lube. But it's just ultralight oil. I don't even know if they make this anymore. I think they do. But it's made by Woodland Scenic. So yeah, they still make it. But this is what I use. But you can use any light oil. It doesn't have to be this particular brand. But it does have a nice little applicator on it, so you can get it in tight spots, which is nice. For lubricating non-metal parts like plastic, probably, and I'm not the expert on this, but for lubricating plastic parts, I would probably use a graphite powder, and I've actually got some of that as well. Let me show it to you. And again, I am not the expert on lubrication, but this is this dry graphite powder. And it's a plastic-compatible precision lubricant for hobby usage. There it is. So that's what I would recommend using, is dry graphite powder for plastic parts. So you can use it on RC cars, planes, boats, model railroads, household, clings to smooth surfaces. You can use it on metal, wood, and plastic, and it will not attract dust. So once again, it's the Hobby Lube Dry Graphite, which is probably made by Woodland Scenics. Yeah, this is also made by Woodland Scenics. But any dry graphite lubricant will work fine. I always get the what is your favorite engine, and I can't answer that. That's like asking that's like if you had, what if you had 3 dogs and someone said, which is your favorite dog, In your opinion, what impact will the virus have on orders from China? Oh, gosh. It's probably going to have an effect, I'm sure. I know that, but, I know that a lot of places have moved to factories outside of China, including Lionel. They've moved to factories in Vietnam and Korea and elsewhere. But any kind of shipping from Asia or anywhere right now is probably going to be affected because the virus is everywhere. So, we'll see what happens. Fortunately, I guess fortunately for Lionel, this is probably the best time of year for something like this to happen, because this is not a time of year when typically a lot of trains are shipping anyway. If this was happening in November, I think Lionel would be in a lot bigger trouble. But if I had to guess, this is probably the best time of year that it could happen. Not that it's good. I know Lionel has had to close their doors temporarily. And I know I'm just like every other company out there. They're hurting. Um, Hopefully, maybe they'll be able to get some help from the stimulus package. I know that part of the stimulus package is supposed to allow businesses to get a loan to pay their employees while they're not working, so that when they reopen, those employees can come right back to work, which I think is a good idea. So um, I don't want to get too political about all that stuff, but um, we'll see what happens. I think it is going to have an effect. What are the other problems you need to fix inside the mountain? Uh, yeah. Well, I need to fix the switch, like I told you guys. The other problem that has been nagging me for years is that inside the mountain, the track goes up a grade to get up into the what eventually is the Carolina room, and the grade that the angle which it takes is just a tad too sharp. And what'll happen is sometimes trains with metal pieces that are very close to the track on the front, like a pilot, if it'll go down and just hit the center rail for just a fraction of a second, but it's long enough to short out the track and make the train stop, and it's incredibly annoying. If I run an engine with a plastic pilot, it won't be an issue, like a diesel. With a steam engine, it may or may not be an issue. It just depends on the engine and how low the pilot goes. And the only thing I can do to work around it is on the if there's an engine that's doing it on the bottom of the pilot, I'll put a little piece of electrical tape just to insulate, just so it doesn't contact the center rail. And it's a giant. It's not a giant problem, but it is a nagging problem, and it's something I've wanted to fix for years. But unfortunately, in order to fix it, I have to open up the entire mountain to get at it. So it's going to be a massive project. But once it gets fixed, I will be so happy, because it's a nagging problem that has bugged me for years. All right, so let's see. Well, thank you, Michael Breen. That was nice of you to say. I might be going into iffy territory, but how much money is invested in your trains? Yeah, I'm not gonna answer that. That's a question. That's something only my insurance company knows. Do I think Lionel will feature the Southern Crescent in the Volume 2 catalog this year? I have no idea. It's probably about time for them to do it. Like the last time they did it was 2010, 2009, something like that. So it's been quite a while. So if I had to take a guess, I'd probably say they'll probably do it at some point in the near future. Whether it's the very next catalog, I don't know. And I imagine they probably do the other ones too, because when they did the Southern Crescent, they also did the Alton Limited and the oh gosh, what was the other one? I can't remember. It was like a blue one. I think it was like a B&O or something like that. Do I like the movie Unstoppable? Yeah, that was a pretty good movie. Yeah, it was pretty good. I've seen it, I think, 3 times, so it's okay. What is your opinion on the East Broadtop's return? I don't know exactly what that is, so if you want to explain it to me, I'd love to know. The only thing I know East Broadtop is I think it's a type of car, but I don't know much about it. I've heard the term before, but it's one of those things that I've never really looked into. So if you want to tell me what the East Broadtop is, that's good. I could use that. Suppose I could Google it too. But do I think Lionel or MTH will make Cubanized American steam locomotives? I doubt it. But you never know. Who knows? I wish they'd make other country locomotives. I wish they'd make. It'd be cool if they made some Japanese or Chinese trains or something like that. But I guess there's probably not enough of a market for it. I don't know. There's probably a reason why they don't do it. Do I have a GP30? That's a good question. I'm embarrassed to say I'm not off the top of my head. I can't remember if I have a GP30 or not. I've been lacking in the GP department for a while, and so I wouldn't be surprised if I don't have one. Let me see. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can search the old inventory. It might not be in the inventory because my inventory is a little bit out of date, but we'll see. GP30. GP30. Nope. Yeah, I've got GP35s, but no GP30s. That's what I thought. So I don't have a GP30 yet. One of these days I'll have to pick one up. Okay, I'm gonna do one more question, then we'll run some trains. Can I show the train shelf behind me and how I mount it to the wall? Are you talking about the wooden one or the metal ones up top? Let me know. Whoever asked that, just let me know. Oh, the East Broad Top Railroad. Okay. They announced the railroad was... Okay, so it's a railroad. Okay. Yeah, the only reference I ever had to the East Broad Top was a video from OGR Railroad magazine, O-Gauge Railroading magazine, and they had some guy doing a narrow gauge East Broad Top. But when I watched it, I wasn't sure what they were referring to. So now I know. East Broad Top is a railroad. If I had to choose, would I get the Custom Line Chief Berkshire or the Conrail GG1? The GG1, and in fact, I am getting one of the GG1s. I'm really excited about that because I'm a GG1 fan. First of all, I've got 4 GG1s in my collection, so I'm really excited about the Lion Chief GG1. That's going to be really cool. All right, let's see here. Have you pre-ordered the Brass Hybrid Jupiter and UP119? Yeah, I did. And I did sell the 3751. Let's see here. The wooden one. Okay, so he wants to know about the wooden case. I built that myself, and basically it's very simple. Let me switch cameras and I'll show you. Switching cameras. Maybe this time I'll actually switch the camera. All right. Now, I don't know if the audio is going to transfer over to this or not, but we'll just let's see. I'll just speak loudly and hopefully you'll hear me. So the wooden shelves, I built the wooden shelves, and then to secure them to the wall, all I did was, let me open this up. See if I can find them. Yeah, okay, so if you look here, you'll see that I just screwed it into the wall, and they're screwed into anchors in the wall. I believe they're screwed into the studs. And if they're not into the studs, they're into wall anchors. And so there's 2 there, and I think there's 2 up top and another 4 down below. So I think there's 8 screws holding this into the wall by the back panel. And the back panel is secured to the shelf itself. So that's how it's done. Let me go ahead and switch back. Okay, last question before we run anything. Eric, do you own any Family Lines units? Yeah, I have a Family Lines GP38 from MTH. I actually reviewed it a while back. I'll post a link to it. Hang on a second. Or maybe not. Hang on a second. Family Lines. Did I not review it? It went in. Maybe I didn't review it. I guess I didn't review it. I'll have to review it at some point. Wow. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I have an MTH Family Lines GP38, and I have a few Family Lines pieces of rolling stock. I'd like to have more because Family Lines is one of the lines that I remember from being a kid, and I remember when I was a kid, I was particularly fascinated with Family Lines because I thought it was an odd name for a railroad. I'd see these engines and cars go by that said Family Lines, and I was like, Family Lines? What is that? You know, it just seemed weird. It just seemed like a strange railroad name, and so it sort of made an impression on me as a youngster, and so I would like to have much more Family Line stuff. Right now, I've just got a few pieces, but I do have a GP38. Alrighty. Okay, so we're going to run some trains, and then I'm going to run the trains for maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes or so, and then we will give away some more stuff. Okay? So as you can see, I've got the Coors Silver Bullet train. I figured you guys would be excited about that. The cool thing about the Coors Silver Bullet is that the doors open up and smoke comes out. MTH has not made the Silver Bullet since they originally made it. I don't know why. Now, the doors are a little finicky. I've got 5 cars, I think, and it's a rare day indeed when they don't... when they all open up at the same time. So. I haven't run the Coors train in quite a while, so hopefully it won't give us any problems. will work. I got 4 out of 5.
All right, this is the last of it. We're ready to go. Ready so far. You're clear to go.
clear through my limits. Over. Thank you. Taking the signal. Out.
Oopsie.
Engine 3949 to the dispatcher. We're tied down and marking off. Out.
Dispatcher, we're going to SWS, ma'am. See you tomorrow. Out.
All right. Had a few little glitches there, but I think we're okay now. So, let's see if we can give away some more stuff. I'll probably call it a day after that because it's been about 2 hours now. All right. All right, so let's give away some more stuff. So I'm going to do another of the another of the coronavirus lockdown 2020 shirts. I finally figured out the answer to the audio problem on the multi-camera live show. Unfortunately, I can't fix it right now. It's going to be you have to have an audio mixer, which I do have, but I don't have time to set it up right now. So next time, now I know. So once again, there's the lockdown shirt. 2020 lockdown, and I'm going to give away another one of those. They should be in by around Wednesday. And again, I have large, extra large, and 2XL. So we're going to give another one of those away, and we will do that by trivia question via email. All right, so here's the question. Here's the chassis system, and there's their logo right there, which has a kitten on it. All right. So the kitten was the symbol for the C&O Railway, and the image first appeared in black and white advertisement in 1933 in an issue of Fortune magazine. So, with the kitten, the logo of the kitten, what was the slogan for the C&O that utilized the kitten? So, whoever knows that, email it to eric@ericstrains.com with the subject of kitten. And the first person to email me with the correct answer will win a Lockdown 2020 shirt. So what was the slogan of the C&O that utilized the Chessie the kitten? Chessie the cat. eric@ericstrains.com. Doesn't matter if you put it in the chat, you got to email it to me. If you put it in the chat, you're just giving the answer away to everybody else. All right, we got a winner. So you can stop emailing me. We have a winner. James Hoffman. And the answer, of course, is Sleep Like a Kitten. So congratulations, James Hoffman. So James Hoffman won a Lockdown 2020 shirt. The next giveaway will be for another Menards car. And here it is right here. This is a Santa Fe. It's a weathered box car. I think the wheels are in good shape. Yeah, they seem to be. So it's a weathered Santa Fe boxcar made by Menards. And I'm going to give this away with another trivia question. So for the Menards Santa Fe boxcar, what was the name of the father's uncle's nephew's brother of the man who founded the Union Pacific Railway? No, I'm just kidding. All right, so here's the next question. And this question will be for the Santa Fe boxcar from Menards. So this is a Southern, I think it's a GP9 or something like that. The Southern Railway back in the day would often, when they got diesels, they would often run them long hood forward. So this would be the forward side. And that actually carried on into Norfolk Southern for some time. But they would run long hood forward rather than short hood forward, like a lot of other railroads would do. And they did that for a long time after other railroads stopped doing it. So the question is, why did the Southern Railroad do that? Why did the Southern Railway do that? Why did they run the engines long hood forward? So send the email to eric@ericstrains. Have the subject be Southern. And the first person with the answer will win the Menards Santa Fe weathered boxcar. So let's see who gets it. Why did the Southern Railway, and some other railways too, run their diesels long hood forward? William Worley is the winner. Because the engineers thought it would provide extra protection, yes, for safety, because it was thought that if a collision happened, having all the long hood in front of the crew would protect the crew better. And that's why it was done for so long. And a lot of early Norfolk Southern diesels had that feature too, because they got it from the Southern. So William Worley, you won the boxcar, so let me reply. Now you do have to pay shipping on the car. I said that with the other car that I gave away, but you will have to pay shipping because I can't afford to just spend money on shipping everywhere. So you will have to pay for shipping. But the next item will be for Patreon supporters, and it's another freight car, so you do have to pay shipping on it. It shouldn't be that much, but I'm just putting that out there. So this is a Rail King Union Pacific boxcar. A stock car. Let me take it out of the box. I've had this one for a long time. I just don't run it very often. So it's a Rail King O-Scale Union Pacific boxcar, stock car. Sorry. Very nice die-cast metal trucks and couplers, MTH quality. So this will go to a lucky Patreon supporter. All you have to do is, if you're a Patreon supporter, just message me and say, I'd like to throw my hat in the ring for the UP stock car, or just type UP stock car, and I will draw a winner from the Patreon supporters later today at random. And again, if you're not a Patreon supporter, you can join at www.patreon.com/ericstrains, and make sure you're a first-class supporter. Those are the candidates for the giveaway, is the first-class supporters. So just message me on Patreon, and I will choose a winner later today. And I'll notify the winners via Patreon, and maybe I'll post it on my Facebook page or something like that. The next thing we're going to give away is to another Patreon supporter. And it'll be another one of these blue shirts. Like that. And again, the sizes that I have are large and 2XL. So if you're a Patreon supporter and you would like one of these shirts, you would like to be in the drawing for one of these shirts, I should say, just message me on Patreon and say I'd like the blue shirt, and I will draw from those people later today. The shipping on the shirts is free. I'll pay for the shipping on the shirts, but the shipping on the boxcars I need you guys to pay for. So one more shirt I'm going to give away, and that'll be one of these blue shirts, the indigo blue, and it's got the Eric's Trains web address on the back. These are really nice shirts. So for this shirt, let me get the sizes I have. So for the indigo blue shirt, I have 2 larges and 2, you can either get large or 2XL. So if you're large or 2XL and you would like one of these shirts, then answer the trivia question. So let me dig up a trivia question real quick. So this is a pretty easy one. I talked about this in a recent review. Okay. So the Amtrak Genesis is getting on in years and starting to show its age, and because of that, Amtrak is going to be replacing them with a new locomotive. So if you'd like to win the indigo shirt, email me at eric@ericstrains.com, the subject Amtrak, and let me know what engine have they selected to replace the Genesis. And we've got a winner. Oh, I know this guy, Toby Passman. Toby Passman has got the right answer. It is, of course, the Siemens Charger that's going to be replacing the Genesis in the next couple years. So, Toby Passman, you have won an indigo t-shirt. That's the last thing I'm going to give away. I'm going to save the others for another live show. So that's it. So we gave away, let's see what we gave away today. We gave away 4 freight cars from Menards. 3 Menards freight cars and 1 MTH freight car, 2 of the Lockdown 2020 shirts, 2 of the blue shirts, and 1 of the indigos. So 4 cars and 5 shirts given away. So I'll be giving away some other stuff in the future live shows, and I'm also going to be putting some of the Lockdown 2020 shirts for sale on my web store at ericstrains.com/store. They're not on there yet because they haven't arrived, but once they arrive, I will put a few for sale on there, and the proceeds from those, 100% of the sales will go to the Red Cross, just to sort of help out with the current situation. So, but it's not going to be that much money because I only ordered a dozen of them. I didn't want to have a bunch of extra lockdown shirts laying around a year from now. So, hopefully, we're not still on lockdown a year from now. That would be something. But so some of those will be for sale on my web store. I'll post that information on my Facebook page, and then the rest of this stuff, I'll be in touch with everyone. The Patreon supporters. If you want, I will contact you on Patreon and get your information. The shirt people, again, Patreon, I'll contact you, and then the anyone who's not on Patreon who wants something, I will reach out to you via email. I've already emailed anyone who emailed me who won. Should have gotten an email from me already to ask for your size and the and your address and so forth. So we'll get all those. Toby Passman replied. He's the first. Oh, Toby Passman replied, and Bill Worley replied. Sweet. Okay. So so that's it for now. We've been going for 2.5 hours now. So we will. I'm going to call it a day now. We ran some trains. We gave away some stuff. We did Q&A, did all sorts of fun stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'll, assuming we're on lockdown in another week or two, I'll probably do another live show in another week or two, and we'll take it from there. But that's it. But that's about it for now. Did you guys want to see Chessie? Someone wants to see Chessie. You want to go get Chessie? Okay, she's going to get Chessie. We'll get Chessie and we'll let him say goodbye to everybody. Hey, JLWII 2000 is on here. Hey, how you doing, man? If you've never checked out JLWII 2000's YouTube channel, check it out. He does really good reviews on HO stuff for the most part. He puts out a lot of videos, and I think he's moving to my side of town, to my area, my neck of the woods at some point. I don't know. Have you already moved here? I can't remember. I know you were moving at some point, but I can't remember if you've already moved here or not. But we'll have to do something together at some point. In my next live show, I think the next one I'm going to have a special guest on, and I'll keep that a secret until then. Scheduled special guest. We'll see if it actually works out. Okay, here's Chessie. Here he is. Whoa. So this is Chessie. He's the mascot of my railroad. He's a good kitty. He's very excited to be down here. He gets very excited to come into the basement. Oh, he was sitting in the sunshine. So that's Chessie. Say goodbye, Chessie. Bye-bye. All right. So so that's it for now. I'll be in touch with everybody about the stuff they won, and once again, if you'd like to support this channel, if you guys haven't already, you can do that on Patreon, patreon.com/ericstrains. Any support is always greatly appreciated because it helps grow the channel. It helps. It's going to help do things that I haven't done before, like restoring old trains and airbrush tutorials and stuff like that. It's gonna enable a lot of really fun stuff down the road. So I really appreciate the support. If you're already a Patreon supporter, I greatly appreciate that. And if you're not, I would appreciate it if you did. So that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'm Eric Siegel, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in.